Hello and welcome again to another edition of me reading inside because I can't be reading anywhere else. Once again, I'm reading poems from my new book, Luckhound, published by Spartan Press. So let's get started. This first poem is called Judgmental Walls. Tempranillo, sour-lipped, a song resting on my tongue, but it just can't find the air. I want to sing perfect Spanish, but I've only had the app for 2 weeks, and no bards ever found favor with Yo quiero una hamburguesa. So I talk, bouncing my wine-soaked voice off the judgmental walls of my apartment and shiver at how thin it sounds. I puff my chest like Lord Byron, and I say things Lord Byron would say, keeping my eyes averted from the mirror. This next poem is called An Angel. Gina was a bitten lip, swollen from brute imprecision. But even when I spat red, I couldn't stop biting, teasing it with my canines. I knew better, and so did she. But there's no arguing, not when a night seemed so endless. Awkwardly pressed between her and a brick wall, my hands claiming territory in spite of myself, that dumb shit I said, my acne, and she kissed me often. I was blessed. She taught me about alleyways, about how cops are cowards on this side of town. Belligerence is bliss, she would have said, if she weren't busy chugging and puking like an angel, in one glamorous, life-giving spew, like Moses' rock in the desert. A golden calf, brilliant in the sun, with so many mouths chanting for it. I was one of them, fevered, praying for the chance to rub my fingers along the trim. The others built her up just to point, touch, and call her sinful, a slut. She fell and always fell so hard, turning rounded corners into pikes, soft edges drowned out by that famed belligerence. I thought I had arms built to catch such a cosmic force. I know she wasn't a slut because that's not a real thing. Because she told me so. Because she cried when she overheard it. When men left her to smolder and reignite her own embers with booze and repetition. They called her a lot of things, but she did just what she wanted. What she had to. Gina taught me so much. Excuse the change in lighting. There's some electrical issues. This next one is kind of a long one, but it's called Six-Shooter Blues. And I wrote it for Typishly, and they actually gave me the prompt. The first line, Abe Lincoln just came back and started taking selfies, was provided, and I had to give a poem based off of that prompt. It's called Six-Shooter Blues. Abe Lincoln just came back and started taking selfies. Meanwhile, the hipster army turned every bar into a museum with names like, Where Are All the Honest Men? Witches were flying matchsticks round the minimum wage daily pay crowd, flaunting faces like goblins and legs of steel. The cowboys paid no mind and were riding bigger horses than before. Mud, women, flags, tobacco, all flapped behind the tires. Keyboards were playing flamenco, citing record collection stolen from my dad, I think. Probably the clothes, too. The brewer never texted back, but I guess death is an excuse. Who knew his teeth would turn blue? He was cold enough to drink. Especially since jazz stopped being music and became a conversation. Asking without questions, counting without numbers. All the walls were covered with the same 2 pictures, but with different autographs. Paintings of foreign lovers. Exoticization of the other is only the latest fad. But if food comes in cans, then why shouldn't life be the same? Preservatives for dinner, for adventure, stored on our pocket-worn television. Who needs a watch? Tumor-building geniuses made a fortune, while Phileas Fogg rolls in his grave, currently being trampled by who knows what. The interstate killed the rodeo star, and now all the rugged men lost their hitchhiker thumbs to sloth, and smoke ultralights with conviction. Street cred based on paper-cut astronauts and multitasking plate jugglers. Vaguely, I thought of Spanish women and searched my neck for a place to hang a leather vest. I wanted to be the one to punch that bastard across a saloon floor, but no one fights there without putting their findings in a newsletter. This next one is called Apologies. And then, just like any other grand gesture, it bounced off of pre-war woodwork, off of chandeliers so high, even the cobwebs seemed to be made of fluted gold, off of gleaming teeth, and landed with a dull thud, a near-silent reminder that theatrics are only needed in place of the real thing. That if you're hanging so many lights, it's probably because you're scared of your own shadow, or the way you really are in the dark. Just a quivering mess. A pile of letters so desperate, even the mailman leaves you unread and meanders on to the next home. So the last one I'm going to read, if you're familiar with the Bacchae or the story of Pentheus, it should make some sense. And the title is actually a sentence from a letter my friend Sammy wrote to me. And in fact, this book is dedicated to my friend Sammy Pfeiffer. And so this poem is called, Maybe We Should Talk About the Bachantes Always Being the Butt of a Joke When Really They Were Just Living Their Best Lives. I've done some dumb things in the name of wine. Sweating or crying, in bed or on the floor, in company or alone. I've never brought God into it, but if I had, I'm sure I would have been there too. Panting under that tree, Pentheus's bloody hand in my hand, hollering into the night over everyone else's hollers, something akin to a prayer. Dionysus, don't save me, not from this. The world burns crueler in the morning, and as I lay me down to purge, no, this is exactly how I thought this night would end, and it didn't stop me. I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. Thank you very much for watching. The book is called Luckhound. There's some links in the description where you can order it. And stay tuned for more of these because it seems like this is going to be lasting quite a while. So have fun. Thanks for watching.